Tonight, he's Billy. And
You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
When we last left you on podcast 271, we teased you about Chad Shank, his egregious fuck-up, and James Inman. Now we'll join the part 2 already in progress. And then just start talking. Everyone start talking right now.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that was the thing.
No, it wasn't very good. I just watched Eddie Pepitone. One of the great things about being in retirement is I can actually take time and listen to podcasts. I watched Pete Davidson, just a 10-minute clip on Opie Radio.
Mr.
yesterday.
Grande? Mr. Ariana Grande?
I have no idea who he is. He had a face that I wanted to fucking punch every time I saw it, but
SNL.
Yeah, who watches fucking Saturday Night Live? The only reason
people who
to watch
stay up till 10?
At least.
Saturday Night Live is fucking, it's always been awful except for the first 3 years. And then there was a minute of Eddie Murphy. And then it's fucking awful. And everyone has to have cable now. Why would you watch Saturday Night Live or anything on network television? It baffles me. There's so much good television on cable that network is only for football. That's the only time that you should have to watch network television other than to watch K-Gun 9 with my weather lady, April Madison, local news Tucson in the morning.
And she responded to you the other day.
Oh, yeah. We chat quite a bit. Bingo's in the room, so don't.
Oh, sorry.
He's just setting her up to shit on her with the big hashtag like he did Beamish.
You're about to get beamished.
You've been beamish. Let's make a web pilot of You've Been Beamish.
You've been beamished.
She still has no idea the story. She goes, she DM'd me. I go, we're in Tucson. When we're taking the train trip, we had to go up the night before and stay at the Congress for the 8 a.m. train. And I'm like, hey, we'll be up there. And she's like, I can't come out at night. I get to wake up at 1 a.m. to do my fucking, because she has to be on that.
The weather doesn't sleep.
Well, she's a gal and she has to fucking do her makeup and probably jog and, do squats or fucking kegels. I don't know what they do. I've never been a meteorologist.
All of the above would be necessary.
But she says, I gotta but if you're ever up here day drinking, I go, that's my gal. Yep.
To get her on the podcast.
Said day drinking. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple people in Tucson I want to have on the podcast. As in part 1, we talked about the fucking guy that used to write the Bisbee police beat. Anyway, yes. So yes, April Madison, K-Gun 9. Vote on the in the Tucson Weekly Best of Tucson. All right, let's get back into this because as I was saying, on the train, I turned my phone on one time just to check something or Google something I had to fucking turn my phone on. I'm no bingo that I stare at it like it's a guru, but I turned it on and it fucking blows up. It's fucking James Inman this, James Inman that. James Inman calls me. We're going to make this. I'm teasing the James Inman because we're going to make this into a full event. Because everyone has saved their voicemails from James Inman, the screenshots of Facebook rants about what assholes we all are.
It gets personal.
Oh, very personal.
And like secondary and tertiary people are pulled into this thing. I mean, Becker's wife was mentioned by name as another MF, you know? What the fuck?
To be honest, we're working on a musical right now.
So we need ancillary cast?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I need this job. Sorry, that's a John Bush reference from the fucking early 90s. Remember that, John Bush?
Yep.
Jen's laughing. Jen remembers that bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't pay attention fully. I got my voicemail from Inman. It's a goddamn fucking emergency. Why won't you answer your phone, you fucking? then it was some nonsense. Someone released like a 30-second clip from a Death Valley party 15 years ago or something.
But it's been online forever. I saw it after we got back from Death Valley. It was on there.
Well, I think
With
Ben
Paul
Scott
Provenza.
released another 30 seconds. He's like, he lives in Australia. It's 9 o'clock there. You fucking give me his number because I'm gonna fucking, this is bullshit. There was a rule you can't film. And that, yeah.
A rule? We went to Panama because there were no rules.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
did-
tell Kramer that.
There probably was a rule about filming without someone's knowledge, like on stage or something. But anyway, it was fucking his ridiculous nonsense. Yeah. But then in the interim, while this is all playing out on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm oblivious on a train, someone started a GoFundMe page for Chad Shank.
A guy named James Kane. Thanks, James. I really appreciate that. I didn't know what was going on.
He said, let's start a GoFundMe page for Chad Shank to read Inman's Facebook rants and Twitter rants.
No, it was to read the one rant that he put up on his webpage.
All right.
He crashed everybody's webpage, and then he had a huge one, the one that Chaille was talking about, where he started naming all of these names.
Yeah.
I hate Doug Stanhope and all of his friends is the basic gist of it. If you're doing a musical, that's I hate Doug Stanhope and all of his friends.
It'll be by Elvis Costello music too.
But
Raised $1,100.
It's $1,100. This is the only thing I had a problem with the GoFundMe, is he put it they were trying to raise $1,000. And once they went over the mark, they made it $10,000 and got greedy.
Yeah.
And
You don't do
a
that.
few weeks before that, I was having one of my I need to buy karma moments where someone, Chris Cubis from Austin, fucking brilliant. If you follow him on Twitter, he's like underrated. You got to follow this guy. He's a great comic, and he's got really funny tweets. And he retweeted someone's GoFundMe about a dog that was dying or it needed a fucking leg amputated or some shit. It's about a dog, and it's a girl with a dog, and they were almost at their mark. So I donated almost enough money for the entire mark and retweeted it. It is way too much fucking money. And then they raised it because I retweeted it. They raised it, and I feel like that karma I bought, I just feel like I got fucking pooned in the ass.
No, you shouldn't be allowed to change the number.
to be fair, this guy said from the very beginning it was a joke. And he never expected it to go to 1,000. And as it went, people were laughing, and they're like, "It's making money." And he goes, "If it hits 1,000, I'll add a zero."
Which was, I felt the same shit I felt when I gave fucking money that I should be spending on someone I know. And then they go, "Oh, well, if your dog surgery costs this much, it doesn't now become 5 times as much."
Yeah, but I would disagree in a dog surgery is not a joke. These are people who, what I assume is people who listen to the podcast and say, if I have a chance to throw Chad Shank $10, I'm going to throw him $10. So they had a chance to do that. And at the same time, it made James Inman look silly because I'm making money saying his words and he doesn't make money saying his words.
Which is good, but when you implore, is that the right word? When you're getting the killer termites to hit a goal, and they hit it, and then you're like, all right.
You move the goalpost.
You do not move the bar, and they should do that with
it's
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. It's still funny. Let's get back to the funny.
Yeah,
it's
but
still funny.
GoFundMe should have a limit where if you put it at that amount, it stays.
You have to start a new separate one if you want to.
And then it's a whole new deal.
By the way, I did.
So there you go, GoFundMe.
I did a quick search on YouTube. There is a James Inman drinking urine from 6 years ago that was posted.
No, that's the one I saw.
Forever.
No, but that's what I was
what I
telling
mean.
you. Yeah,
This
but
is not a new.
It was not a new
is-
thing. So when he did this, I was like, I don't get it because I watched it 6 years ago, and Paul Provenza's in it. Like you can see him in it, and I'm
I
like,
can't wait to see it again.
I mean, people watch it because Paul Provenza's in it, and then a guy drinks urine while Paul Provenza's in it.
Paul Provenza watches some unknown comic drink urine to survive.
Oh, that's the title. Yeah, no wonder James didn't find it. He only Googles his own name.
For the listener who doesn't know about this, maybe a new listener, we probably have new listeners. James Inman was in Death Valley, and he's a crazy person. He's our Windy City Heat. What's the fucking character's name that they fuck with in Windy City Heat? He's that guy. He's our.
I thought you were gonna say Wendy the retard.
It's applicable. It's applicable.
Carl Pilkington. Fuck, I had his name the other. Anyway, he's a great crazy person that is easy to wind up on the podcast or in life. And we're at Perry. Yes. Perry from Windy City Heat. If you haven't seen that movie, you're not a comedy fan. Stop the podcast, find Windy City Heat. I watched it at least 18 times because someone came to the house and said, "Oh, I've never seen that." Yeah, well, here. We're going to sit down for an hour and a half.
Tracy, did you look that up?
I've never seen that.
Okay, now hit unpause.
You're not a comedy fan.
Now hit unpause.
I never claimed to be.
Or a voiceover actor for now.
It's also
I make zero claims as to being anything at all.
Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla also produced it, so it was pedigreed, man.
It's
going to be good.
Fucking, even Dane Cook I liked in that.
By the way, Don Barris, stand-up
Don Barris
guy.
is great.
He was at the Comedy Store when that whole thing went down. I didn't air it about when we took over the Comedy Store podcast studio because someone pushed them out. Don Barris was like, "I understand." So I didn't air that part, but honestly, stand-up guy and big fan, and watching him at the end of the night with
Bingo's
the Ding Dong Show. I've never seen that before. That is a crazy
Bingo
bunch.
still gets starstruck every time she sees Don Barris because of Windy City Heat. Hey, tell him I said hi. You're right here. You tell him.
No, you do it.
He's a great guy, man. I've never met him before until that, and it was a weird situation, and at the same time, everything's cool. Yeah.
When we first, we were into the Impractical Jokers before it was a known entity, and I tweeted to them, and we had contact on Twitter, and then, hey, we want some advice. Can we call you? And it was Sal and Quinn on the side of the fucking highway in New Jersey talking to us. And Big was like, "I want to say hi." And then I put her on the phone, and she couldn't talk. She just giggled and handed the phone back.
clammed
I can't
up?
do it. And she's still like that.
Not true.
Well, get on the mic. Get on the mic. Go on.
That's not true. You told them to call me. And I picked up the phone and I knew who they were immediately, and I flipped out. I couldn't talk.
It was very
fabulous.
funny.
It was
very
fabulous.
cute. Bingo's as easily starstruck as I am a fucking giddy girl when I do mushrooms. I never want to get good at that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the story.
Yes.
James Inman is flipping out. I'm ignoring most of it, but I get notes from Chaille. Save all your voicemails. If Inman calls you, don't answer the phone because we want to record all of these
You
voicemails.
were on your dumb train trip, and I got that immediately. As soon as I got it, and I heard the first, "Oh God, oh God." I'm like, I stopped because I knew what was going to happen. And I immediately called Doug, who was not answering because he's not answering the phone because he didn't want to watch Twitter and get all weird and everything. And I just left a message. Do not delete anything and do not answer your phone. If this guy, he's in my phone as "do not answer!" ! That's the way it is, right? Do not answer. Let everything go to voicemail. And that was, I was hoping you would get it sooner or later because it's a problem. If all of a sudden he knows he's reached someone, it's a different game. We're not playing the game we want to play. Now we're playing his game because it fell on some ears.
Oh, no, he tried to start his own game after the GoFundMe ended. Then he's emailing Brian and CCing me saying, "Well, since he made so much money, I'm going to write another rant." And then he's asking if it's okay can I talk about this? Because Stanhope never talked about these. He's asking the censors if he can do this material in his next rant.
He wrote the next day after he realized that GoFundMe was happening. He wrote a new rant, and then claimed that somehow that I was contractually obligated to read all of his future rants.
Yeah, like you have a 3-book deal.
Yeah. So I was, all right, whatever. And then so he wrote a giant rant specifically about me, which just said my name over and over again. Yeah. I, Chad Shank, stuff walnuts up my ass, and I suck Doug Stanhope's dick.
So at least he's writing new material.
So, but it was what I told him was, because he said, I wrote a rant, like, you have to read that. And I was like, not only do I not have to read it, is nobody will ever see it unless Stanhope retweets it, like the Unbookables. And then he didn't message me anymore after
that's
that.
a burn.
That's great. Your advertising guru is over.
Hang on, I'm going to tease this.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
It's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock there in Australia. Do you have his fucking phone number?
That was the first one.
Who's he talking to?
Me. That was a voice message.
Where he's trying to get
He's trying to
Ben
get a hold
Scott.
of Ben Scott. It's like 8 or 9 there in Australia.
Yeah, he's already done the conversion on time, but he can't figure out Doug's on vacation.
I think Andy may have some stuff. Are you saying that in addition to his one rant that I read, should I read emails that you guys have? Should we do
I have
a whole
emails.
Right.
Hennigan has 3 voicemails.
I've got 3.
People did give me a lot of money. I'm willing to read all of that stuff.
So we're going to put this together. We're actually going to give you your fucking $1,100 worth and edit it. He's going to read all the rants that are emailed, Chad Shank will, and then we'll play all of the voicemails from Inman and then have roundtable discussions between those, just like an Audible book. Fuck you, Audible. You should fucking put this out. We could make the James Inman story, but we could do an hour and a half.
Can we bring in one of those like profilers that look at his techniques and go, he's definitely shouldn't be on the streets. Yeah.
Hey, Audible, I know you've kind of cornered the market on audiobooks. How about audio pamphlets? The James Inman pamphlet.
Oh, no, Mishka Shabali cornered the market on those. He drank his own piss too, but he made it into a fucking
audio.
Mishka Shabali, his album that he signed to me is on my eBay yard sale right now. It ends Sunday, August 19th.
Yeah, coming up.
In the year of our Lord, 2018. Get the Mishka Shabali. I didn't even read the entire autograph. I pulled half of the album vinyl out of the box, and it said something probably snarky, and I just put it, I go, yeah, I'm going to sell this on eBay and piss you off, because there's some people like Inman and Mishka that you like to annoy. Anyway, back to the show already in progress. This Inman thing was fortuitous for you, Chad Shank.
Financially, it was fortuitous, yes.
It was a lateral move because you went a little
sounds for
tits
one
up.
of us.
The Audible job that I talked to you guys about the last time was that I was so proud of. I fucking failed out on it. I bombed out bad on it.
It was a book that the author picked you specifically.
Bruce, that did the book here, the producer here, sent me and he says, read this for an audition. And I did. And the author picked me. I was really excited.
And you just finished your whole studio.
Yeah.
This is your first big fucking gig.
And I could give you a million things of what happened, but it all sound like excuses. But it was right at the same time.
Not for listeners of this podcast.
It was at the same. It was at the same time that the stuff happened with my daughter. Is whenever this.
Well,
happened.
technically your daughter.
So I was. Yeah. What's her name? Yeah. So I was. She was going through a lot of emotional type stuff. Her mother still being a cunt and telling her it's different dudes that died and stuff.
Let's slow down a bit because we are drinking. To catch people up, emotional things. She's looking at prison time and just found out you're not really her father. So
Right.
And
it's not a PMS situation.
No, and you're in a different. You're in a different city.
Again, I traveled to where she was.
Right. So you weren't at home. It's not like you were dilly-dallying at home.
Yeah.
You're in a different city.
And I misread the contract because, and thought that I had a really long time to do this when I only had a really short time to do this is the other thing that happened. So, I just couldn't. I got thrown into the deep end of the pool just because I have the notoriety from Stanhope. Doesn't mean that I'm ready to operate at that level. I need to fucking.
I've never been considered a level you have to.
Listen, okay,
that's your opinion.
It's like somebody says hey, this guy filled in all of our potholes on our road. You should hire him for all your paving needs.
No,
and then the guy's like, oh yeah, come over and do our paving. And I'm like, wait, I accidentally fell. Technically, I did fill potholes, but I was walking and then I fell into a pothole and I filled it with my body. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get technical, that happened, but I in no way have the skills to make you a driveway. So I wish I had a better analogy, but that's kind of shitty.
The falling into the pothole works. Yeah.
How's resurfacing?
Wants to be a pothole, I'll make him a pothole.
How's resurfacing Interstate 10 going?
Yeah. So I was way out of my league. I wasn't ready to do that.
Well, we were on the train when you texted Bingo at like 5 a.m. You guys are soulmates at 5 a.m. I'm up and crazy too.
Yeah.
Crisis soulmates.
Yeah.
Well, she said Chad had to email Audible and bail out of reading that book, which I know that was your first like big thing, and I was worried.
I got an extension for a week, trying to listen. I've bullshitted my way through everything my entire life. I've learned a little bit about something and then made people think that I was something I wasn't, and I got through life like that. I was not a good mechanic in the Army, but if you took a poll in all my units and said, who's the best mechanic, they would say, oh, it's Shank. Not because I was the best mechanic, because I was the best bullshitter. And this is the first time I ran up against something that it requires skill and art, something that I'm acutely aware of that I have none of.
But also practice.
And that's it. And that's
you
it.
Cannot rush practice.
Exactly, and that's it. So I have a book that I had promised Sam Chaille that I would do fucking 3 years ago now, that I'm working on right now that I should be able to get out real soon. And that one I'll need help pimping it out since I blew the other.
But that's a smaller one, so it's a more manageable project.
It's a real small book, and I don't have to submit it to Audible on their timeline.
He just wants it.
For the record, I read the hard copy of the book you were reading, and just the amount of names of these gangsters and all these, and you don't know how to pronounce them. And it's a hard book it's a great book, but it's a hard one to follow. And imagining you reading it, what was the fucking quote? I called you. I was like 3 pages in.
Slicked black. I just fucked it up.
There you go.
Take 98.
To be fair, when I read it in my studio, I only fucking fucked up that take because I laughed once I nailed it because you had already told me.
I started reading it, and he's talking about, and they have the cliched, the Italian gangsters with the slicked back black hair, slicked black. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and then he hooks up with Sister Susie sitting at the seashore. That didn't help.
Like Becker said, you need to practice, and you have to take baby steps. So I have the small book by Samuel Chaille, Mexican Ejection Seat, that I'm going to work on. And literally, the pronunciation guide that Audible sent me for the other book is bigger than the book that I'm going to do first. Okay. Just the guide. Just to practice how to say these words. It was like, I can't do that. It was longer than your book.
When Bingo told me that he had to email Audible and bail out of this, I go, I thought that might be the fucking end of your psyche, and I didn't contact you.
Did you keep looking at Newser? Did you keep looking at Newser?
Deathpool.
Days later, he texted me, and I had to bail out of this. But it was you can read the mood in the text, and he was in a good mood. I'm like, we fucked up way worse.
Yeah.
My first Roseanne bar had Saturday Night Special to try to compete with Saturday Night Live in the 90s. I had to leave.
Yeah, that's
Coots.
when you left, yeah.
I had to leave Coots
What?
in Anchorage to
What was
go
it?
do this.
That's when you was
spot
going to
on
do that.
This new Roseanne bar's Saturday Night Special.
That's when I
And
became a bartender.
fucking failed so miserably on camera in front of a live studio audience. Thank God they cut it.
I've never
The
heard
show
of this.
ran long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to fucking leave.
Who's
Coots.
Roseanne?
I don't know.
Was that during like? That was after Fridays. Fridays tried to compete in
Yeah,
the
Fridays
80s.
tried in the 80s, but this was
like
after
probably
that.
96 or something.
Yeah,
99.
96,
'Cause
97.
She was
Well,
on a roll.
the first time I went to Coots, it was the first summer I spent at Coots.
Not
Like
the first time you went to
97,
Coots. First time you went to Coots was in December of 95. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
No.
like 96, 97.
Yeah.
It was, the second time you were there, because that's how I became a bartender, because they had to pay me for the week. And then they made me go work the day bar. And I go, if you got a comedy show at fucking 11 in the morning, I'll go. But
Yeah, Duran went over to the.
no, not Duran. It was,
Someone went and grabbed you out,
it was,
out of the.
what do you got? The head of security. No,
Angry guy.
Who was he? No,
The guy we
big
fucked with?
bald guy that ended up.
Tommy
leaving us in-
McCullough.
No,
No, that
wasn't
was the
Tommy
manager.
McCullough. It was head of security. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Yeah, all the-
what's her name's?
All the
Brother.
listening audience is yelling out names
Barry.
in their car right now.
Barry.
No.
Barry?
It was before Barry.
All right.
It was,
Let's get back to the story that the fucking.
Oh, the guy with
listeners-
an eye patch and a limp.
yeah.
He had that hook,
Yeah.
but he didn't. He actually had two hands, but he had a hook too.
But he brought a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
brings a hook to a party?
Backs a lot of guys down.
Who brings a hook to a hand party? Hand fight.
Low five.
All right. I think we got to get back on track here.
Where
this
were
is
we?
why we're doing a part 2. We're at him having a. But Bruce from Audible, he knows. He
Our
knows
producer.
that you have talent, and he knows your backstory. He knows your history.
He listens to the podcast.
And he said, hey, he said what I said. This is not going to fuck up your career.
Yeah, he's super nice, and I was worried about that. I told him thank you for that, because I was, in addition to everything else, I let my fucking family down. When you're in that headspace where you fucked up, all you can focus on is I have to go on the podcast and explain to everybody that's fucking supported me what a fuck. Yes, indeed, I am the fucking worst fuck up in the world.
See, I told
And
you.
guess what? You're like everyone else now.
So
Yeah, we filmed a pilot a year and a half ago with the Johnny Depp Corporation, the production company.
What'd that cost?
Them or me? It's pennies in the bucket for what their debt is. Yeah, and it sucked shit. I sucked shit. We thought we could do this. I can produce. I could do all the. No, I sucked. I sucked badly, and
Was it the first time you ever did it?
then no one can tell you that you sucked.
No.
Oh, we need a better comedy editor. No, I sucked. You can't take it back.
Doug sucked before.
But it still hurts.
This was
it
just on
hurts.
someone else's.
There's no way
This was
it
on
doesn't
someone
hurt.
else's dime.
Yeah.
This was like
But
as
when you
cavalier
talk
as
a lot
we
of
took
shit
it.
about how we can do this,
Yeah.
and then
People don't realize.
and I was the only weak link.
Henry Phillips, 2 movies in. Amazing.
Henry, who?
Your dog.
More
Henry
people know
Phillips.
my dog. Sorry, I'm just fucking with you, Henry. His movies are fucking
But
great.
no, and he's in that. And that's the thing, is that's a select talent. The thing is, you learn that from all the work he did. And Chad is new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as time goes on, you can't take away talent.
You can't cut the front of the line in every situation. It just doesn't work.
No, remember, you
you
can
were
bullshit the military, but you can't bullshit Audible.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
If you were an extra in The Godfather, and they said, "Oh, what's his name? The Godfather, Marlon Brando just had a stroke. Is there anyone fat and bald amongst the extras that can carry this role?"
Yeah.
Because basically, that book, when I read it, half of me is so intrigued by the story. The other half is, how are you going to fucking get through this reading this? Because it's one of the most difficult books to read if you're not a Boston Southie half
Ay,
guinea.
ay, ay.
I will tell you, it was more of myself that defeated me and the tech. The punch and roll that the Audible requires.
The tech of recording yourself and not having a producer like an outside ear here and then go, hey, do that again.
You're not like, you know how we read and the parts we would fuck up, somebody else would take out. Whenever you do it yourself, it all has to be non-fucked up and, streamlined. And
my first thought was, because the train ride was already fucked. With that whole Chicago take a flight. And my first thought was, I should fly back and direct him, because when I'm drinking, I think I can fix everything.
Yeah, ask Gabby Hayes.
That's a callback from part 1.
Isn't that why they're here?
Yeah.
This is part 2.
Yeah, this is why you're still here.
I really
Doug
hope
trying
to
to
get
fix
an
the world.
email or a tweet from Gabby Hayes' family in Vancouver, Washington, where she finally landed, because she thought she was on the wrong train initially. That's how we met.
It sounds like she might have been.
That's why she was walking the wrong way.
It was her third trip. They just turned around and put her right back on when she got off.
That's why I want an email from Gabby Hayes' family in Vancouver. No, we didn't send her on an endless trip to Insaneville. I forced that.
Good push.
I like that it's there's a future option in mind. It's cheaper than whatever sort of retirement if you can just ride around. Maybe
I thought
maybe
about
you could do a bus version.
Cheaper than an old folks home.
You don't have train money. Mm-hmm. You can just throw somebody on a bus.
You look forward to the bus ride.
Stop at Burger King every 100 miles.
There's some in the coach, and then the richer people are in the cabin cars, and then the other people are on the roof.
I will say this about Amtrak. The coach seats are better than first class on Delta. They have a full recline and then for your thighs, a recline, and then you put your feet.
Yeah.
And more leg room than any first class, even sleeping first class, international.
It's like a gynecologist chair.
But
yeah, it's a train.
But
a bus beat you.
They just add another car if they have more people.
But the problem is that the Greyhound travelers in coach, in those beautiful seats, have coolers and 8 blankets and 9 bags and
it's
7 children. Yeah, you have a beautiful, beautiful, comfortable seat, and then you clog it like a fucking hoarder on a train. Anyway.
That was when we took the train one time and one time only from a beautiful LA Union Station to the Benson platform out here, and it's overnight. So like you get on the train at like 10 o'clock, the same one you took, and
get in at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
I'm gonna say about 4:35 in the morning. Tracy, what did that guy say? The guy we didn't get a sleeper car. We're in the coach, these wonderful gynecological chairs. We're hanging out, and all of a sudden at 5 a.m., a guy yells, what do you yell?
What the fuck? What the fuck is that smell? God damn it, it smells like shit in here. What the fuck?
Over the loudspeaker?
No, he just...
The guy next to me
jumped up in the aisle and started yelling.
Who smells like ass? What the fuck? I'm like, is it breakfast? And I'm like,
was it you?
This is a thing. This is a thing. It's the lowest. The people who don't want to show ID get on a train. That's out of LA, especially. And it was one of those things where like, I can never do this fucking trip again. I was thinking romantic of like LA Union. It's beautiful. The more beautiful the station, the shittier the fucking people, because it was fucking horrible.
Be serving breakfast. Don't even ask me.
When Stanhope first tweeted that he was going to have to take a plane instead of continuing on, I tweeted him, "I'm sorry your white trash vacation is going so white trashy."
Who knew?
Like he expected something completely different.
The as you came apart with the book that you finally got a legit fucking full voiceover job.
My big break, what I've always wanted.
But this is where timing came into. This is where you got the James Inman.
Yeah, right.
Thing.
Same time frame.
Like, all right, I got to bail out of this book, but
I feel terrible, but
hey, I texted you that. I said, don't worry, you got the Inman thing. That's when you said, hey, I had to bail out of this book because I just don't, my fucking head isn't right. And I said, don't worry, you got the Inman thing on the GoFundMe. Every time God closes a door, he opens a toilet stall.
This thing's still active, by the way.
Yeah, he told me he shut it down, but
who did?
The guy who said
I was gonna say James Inman told you something.
No. Stanhope recommended blocking him on Twitter, so I blocked him on Twitter, and then I was gonna unblock him, but he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, he canceled his account. I go, fuck. I was gonna block him for fun, just to wind him up more.
Yeah, I was fucking with him.
And then I went to unblock him. Nah, his account's down. I don't know about.
It's still.
You guys do Facebook.
If you go to GoFundMe, it's Shank performs Inman's meltdown, which that's a great name because it's gonna open up. It's gonna blossom that way.
Global swarming.
They've got $1,130 out of a $1,000 goal, and I guess you can still.
Oh, you put it back to
still donate.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Actually, you know that's the way. Don't just because you hit the goal. Yeah, just let it go over. Don't fucking let.
I don't
but
know.
You're right.
And
GoFundMe has to regulate that and go. Look, don't get fucking greedy, motherfucker.
I'm
just
pretty sure
go.
this guy was new at GoFundMe. He was just trying to do something funny and something
and it
nice
worked,
for me.
And it worked.
And
this is not an indictment on
so
him,
don't
by
shit
the
on
way.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm saying to anyone who does a GoFundMe, when we
don't change the number.
When we did,
when you said that makes sense because some people donated more than fucking $10 on here. Some people donated.
Doesn't it look better?
There's 50. David Johnson gave 50. Let's
Most
go
people
through.
are
Look, 130.
Jason Fury down the street gave $40.
But look at Chris. Wait, 130. You just want to look at
Christopher Ulm.
Yep.
I feel like we're at the end of Romper Room where we're looking through the mirror.
What I mean, that's
and we're saying,
$130.
And I see Christopher Ulm.
All right, there's a lot of over talking going on. Pay attention.
Fucking drunk at this point. Yeah.
So it's still going on. GoFundMe. Chad Shank performs Inman's meltdown allegedly.
So are we doing? We're not doing this reading today. Then
we're
gonna production it up.
Fuck yeah, we're gonna do $1,130 worth of work on this.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna be a real thing, and we're gonna have background checks on Inman.
I can do a narration over the top of it on July 24th.
No, we got Al Pacino. We got another GoFundMe to get Al Pacino to do the intro. It's not going so well.
I don't know how we'll talk tech after the podcast, but Hennigan has 3 brilliant voicemails. I don't know how you can record those without him being here, but you'll figure that out.
The man will be talking later.
And so, yeah, we'll sit down and have a fucking writer's room up on the patio of what we have and
the time.
And put it together. We're going to we will produce this.
This is the beauty of it, is that not only because I forwarded you the voicemail I got from him, and you were on your fancy train trip, so you couldn't get it. But my voicemail,
I listened to it.
You eventually got it. But when I was doing that, I realized my voicemail actually transcribes everything he says
in the text.
I get a text of what it said, and I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking precious.
We have to have a fucking writer's room where we just sit down around the patio table.
Yeah, we have to. Everyone has to forward me all the audio from this thing because, first of all, no one answer the phone if he calls, because once this goes out, he might reinvigorate his disdain for everyone.
Just so you know, my voicemail actually translates to, and that's how I know Cold Cut Jenny.
Yeah.
Cold Cut Kenny almost spit out his fucking coffee right now. He's
every time it says Jetty called, I go, Jetty?
To be fair,
Jetty?
there were a lot of blank spaces with like cannot translate in there.
I'm assuming those are curse words.
Well, or just...
It's not Japanese. We know that from Hennigan.
I don't think I have anything to add. We were going to do the gossip column.
Let's take a break and then come back and do police beat.
Well, I was going to add in a page 6.
What's that?
I talked to there's a guy, it's a British guy who has an awkward head. He's the guy who walked through.
Do a better lead-in. We'll take that out.
I'll take a break. Okay.
Let's take a break.
Cocktails.
Cut. Cocktails.
James, have you ever used Eros Guide for hookers on the road?
Eros Guide, that sounds interesting. What is it?
Eros Guide is where, in my later stage of getting hookers via computer, I would go to Eros Guide. They have hookers in every major metropolitan area.
So, is this like
it tells you what they gives you pictures, tells you what they're into.
Right, because I'm tired
cost.
of going to Craigslist and finding these skanky hookers. Is there a
talk
better
to?
place
Hey, your
to go?
face isn't really pixelated. Get out of my Motel 6.
How much to just talk for 3 months?
All right, I'll give you $250 an hour, but I get to live on your couch for a year and a half.
And believe me, you'll be paying me that back.
Did you say no? I like what you did. I respect that. Can I do some laundry at your house? It's just this jacket and cap. All right, that's a plug from James Inman. Now back to the podcast, already sort of in progress.
As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a break in the podcast, there's a guy in town, I think his name is Ben Morgan. If I'm wrong, sorry.
Maybe he wants
But
you
he
to
was
be
the
wrong.
Oh, by the way, Ben Morgan was the guy who ran through me in my fucking socks and underwear at midnight in the rain, fending off a fucking intruder when nobody helped me. And he walked out of a party here and walked right through the fucking fist fight. Not fist fight. It was a push.
It was a tussle.
Push and shove.
A street tussle.
Yeah, it was for a 51-year-old weak guy with fucking scoliosis. Yeah, it was a street fight.
What'd you have?
I tried to give him scoliosis.
Doug's assaulting a wheelchair guy out.
But he had battery power.
That guy had shoes on and pants.
Probably not his own.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
Hold on a
conjecture.
second. This I just remember this detail. After the incident, what you're talking about, and then like it all resolved. The guy went away, and then Doug in his underpants and his socks.
Wet socks
If you
in the
didn't listen
rain.
to the previous episode, here's a good reason. Figure out why Doug is in his underpants and his sockettes, the little ankle socks.
Burner socks.
And then I look
Right
at
after the rain.
I look at the video, and
It
like
rained again. It was
40
raining
minutes
again.
later, Doug, I see the car coming back up the street. They park. Doug gets out of the car where they went to go look for the guy. He's still wearing underpants,
Wet underpants and socks.
wet sacks,
in the rain.
underpants, and his socks. They jumped in the
Always be
Batmobile to fucking go fight crime, and he still was just wearing underpants and
You know
socks.
what? Hollywood has ruined it. Superman doesn't change every time.
He only has one suit.
The guy did get
like
arrested
Doug.
3 days later. Thank you, police beat, Bisbee Observer Police beat. Yeah, 3 days later, while I was on a train, he was getting arrested, and he's going to get arrested again because he has another warrant. So anyway, the guy that ran through the fucking street beef at midnight and didn't notice that I was in a conflict that I can't resolve. He just jumped in his car. Thanks for the party. And then I'm back to trying to
As you're struggling over a
2x4 that he was carrying.
2x4 with the assailant.
And Bingo's watching on the security camera in the bedroom rather than calling for help from fucking large men that
She
are
was
still-
waiting for a commercial.
Boy, this camera's clear. Look at this. You can really see the
Is this
detail.
Netflix, there's not one ad.
I love documentaries.
Benjamin Morgan, who does a webcast from Bisbee, like the Good Morning America show. It's kind of that hokey. He does
It's out
it
of 30
live.
Rock?
Yeah, it's the 30 Rock of old Bisbee. And the only difference is there's no one pressing their face in the window because no one gives a shit. Yeah, he does this hokey thing. He's the guy that ran out of here, but he the mayoral election is coming up. The primary is August 28th, and it's one of those. It's a Hillary Trump kind of thing where no one gives a fuck. There's two candidates that are not even maybe they're polarizing to locals. I know them both peripherally. I wave
You're
at both
probably
of them.
not the go-to on Bisbee High Life.
Well, our old mayor, Adriana fucking Bazalzabudadu, whatever her name was, she started shit with the fucking civil unions and plastic bag bans, and she caused some chaos. And now it's just about economy.
She showed up to the baseball games. Remember when we were up in the booth?
She showed up here. She
Yeah.
fucking I'll have one wine after the city council meeting. We'd have an after party for city council. It was fucking great.
If you say I'm going to have one wine to 10 people, you just drank 10 wines.
Now it's about, Bisbee Unified School District. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Losing a lot of money.
So anyway,
firing people, hiring people without it.
Point being,
well,
no big
Benjamin
contract.
Morgan asked me if I would do. He's doing mean tweets with the two candidates, and I go. He said, "Will you introduce it?" I go, "I don't know what mean tweets is. Mean tweets is a segment on Jimmy Kimmel's show.
It's Kimmel's deal.
Where celebrities read out loud mean tweets that have been sent to them, which is a fucking hilarious idea. And another hilarious idea is me doing a Jimmy Kimmel bit for a local webcast, because you know how great that worked out for me the last time I tried to do Jimmy Kimmel's show. So I went,
You get a chance to relive your youth.
Just to keep this out of your arena, Jimmy Kimmel might come out here just to cock block you.
I honestly think, because I don't watch late night TV, but I've seen where Jimmy Kimmel does the unnecessary bleeping, and one of those things I go, I think they might have stolen that from me and Joe Rogan, because they hated the fact that we took over the Man Show, rightfully. You're absolutely right, but they had traded creative control and
For ownership.
Yeah. So Comedy Central owned the show. So when we took over, fucking, we believe a lot of nonsense. Oh yeah, we make it your own, except for your ideas. It sucked. And he was rightfully pissed. But when we were promoting, Joe Rogan and I were on Ryan Seacrest's, he had a daytime talk show like Oprah. And we went on to promote the New Man Show. And we're just talking in very light terms. When's the last time you got laid? And Rogan's like, oh, you smoke pot, Ryan, right? And they were bleeping the most minor things. Like,
when's the last time?
Beep, beep. So afterwards, we're getting blown up on the internet. Like, what the fuck did you say? Because it sounded like we were saying the most repulsive things, because they're bleeping out laid and pot and sex, just minor words. So I don't doubt that that's where the idea came from, because if he hated us that much, he's probably got people watching this inappropriate bleeping. He does that. It's a fucking fantastic bit. We didn't write it.
You were victims of it.
No.
I love it on Amazon. Nothing with you and Rogan and the Man Show comes up on a search.
Thank God.
No, I'm
Thank
just
you,
saying,
Rogan.
They have successfully
Thank you,
scrubbed
Rogan, all
all
your
of it.
power.
So yeah, we're gonna do that. I don't know. I'll just, you know what? I'm just gonna steal. I'm gonna look up Jimmy Kimmel introducing, because I didn't know it. He sent me a link, and I watched Jimmy Kimmel set up mean tweets, and I'll probably just do it verbatim, because he's gonna film the candidates separately, and I'll just repeat.
I think I should just reach out to Jimmy Kimmel's people. He might come out here and save you from having to get out of retirement.
I don't think so.
Ziggy Zaggy Ziggy. Oh, never mind.
By the way, this really dovetails perfectly into the Doug Stanhope eBay yard sale, where we have show number 509 and number 515 of the Stone Stanley Entertainment production of The Man Show in VHS.
The last eBay yard sale, not the football helmet one, but the last eBay yard sale, I sold all of the copies and I couldn't find 2, and now I found them. So maybe the guy that bought every copy other than the missing 2 will bid on
Wait,
these.
don't we have a VHS copy guy? Hold those tapes.
Only if you got a time machine. But the
I
eBay
never
yard...
plugged that fucking special enough. The VHS of Pop-Off Vodka Presents only has that title track on it. It's like 20 minutes. The rest is available on Vimeo, the full hour. But
We watched it. It was a blast.
It was so fun watching
honestly,
it.
It was really
Because I
good.
forgot about tracking, where the
Yeah,
squiggle
the
goes
squiggle,
like the
it didn't
fucked
matter.
up
It was
thing.
almost like watching weird porn
Yeah,
from the
it was
old
like,
days. wasn't it?
hey,
because
put
there was
the
a line
blinds down.
going through you, and we're like, we're cool with it. Just don't fucking touch anything.
Oh, there's another. We'll in the eBay yard sale. It's going from the 12th to the 19th of August. It's going out during this.
Yeah, it's in the middle right now. If you're listening to this, it's probably Wednesday.
I'm gonna
or
put
Thursday.
all of the VHS of Pop-Up Presents is Pop-Up Vodka Presents. They're signed. You can get those online, but we'll send you in the eBay yard sale a signed VCR.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Why not?
All right, do
That's
it.
hysterical.
Write it on your arm.
A signed VCR and a tape of the thing. I don't
you
fucking
get the
care.
whole
right?
kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
You got to get
We'll
this.
call it the kit and caboodle.
It costs almost $5 to get a VCR now.
I
Room
know.
666
Cost
key is up there.
$78 to ship one.
I got to get that to our gal that runs the eBay. It ain't my fucking eBay.
You didn't want to sell it though.
What?
The 666 key.
No, we just.
Oh yeah,
Becker
we
and
talked
I
about it. Yeah,
about
no,
it.
he
Yeah.
didn't know where it was. I go, it's on your fucking wall. Don't touch that wall.
All right.
I'm like, I've been doing great since I got rid of it.
All right, let's just get to Bisbee gossip. This is a new segment to the show. Bisbee gossip. It's the page 6 that doesn't exist in the Bisbee Observer. Which that's one thing I told that kid that does biz beans and rice, Hokey. Get some local gossip. Get Margot. What's up with Margot? Margot was drunk at the Grand the other night. So here's we'll just call him Cold Cut because we want to keep him. If you can pixelate his voice. So what's up? Hey, what's up with
like this, you mean?
Reverend Derek?
Oh yeah, Reverend Derek. His brother just moved into town. That's always a joy.
Irritant.
And so I went to help him move his stuff out of his U-Haul, which is comic books and action figures. And as I noticed, second bedroom on the right in his giant old person house was all of Derek's belongings. Pretty much all of Derek's junk.
But Derek and Bree, the couple that you know from the podcast, they just bought a house together. Why would all of Derek's stuff be at his brother's new apartment?
Well, see that right.
Trouble in paradise? That's never been paradise?
I would say, yeah, paradise trouble.
Paradigm?
Maybe he has a summer home.
Or a weekend getaway. But yeah,
Better than jail.
Hey, that's the you don't.
It's
That's
a
enough.
San
We can
Jose
all
summer.
make our own assumptions based on this information. But let's quickly go to Chad Shank with the Bisbee Police Beat and read the stories that may or may not be about Derek and Bree.
In a completely unrelated police beat, the crisis team responded to a medical emergency involving a highly intoxicated man who was suicidal.
Derek. What else do you have out there that's just completely unrelated to the gossip column?
A man who was sleeping in the post office said he was trying to get out of the rain, but agreed to leave.
Derek.
A caller said a man with scratches on his face came to his residence and said he had been fighting with his wife and needed police assistance.
Derek!
A woman asked for help with her ex-husband, who she said had threatened to kill her in the past, and was at her house asking to come in.
Bree!
A woman who appeared intoxicated was reportedly walking down the middle of the road.
Derek! Oh, sorry, I did Derek. Yeah.
And finally, a caller said a man had been sleeping in the park regularly and appears to be making himself comfortable.
Derek! Well, that's all for this week's Bisbee Observer. We're going to close this podcast with audio of James Inman on YouTube. What's the clip name?
It's called James Inman Drinking Urine to Survive.
We're going to close on that, but first, Ggreg Chaille would like to remind you.
Doug, I know you don't know about this, but Apple Podcasts, it's iTunes.
What's a podcast?
Well, I know. It's a thing. You'll hear about it. Your kids will tell you. If you review our podcast, hopefully you enjoy it more than the guy who said, Doug Stanhope is a legend, true to this mess. Which I don't know if that's...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good. Commercials get a little long sometimes, but they're different and I can stand listening about the same product over and over again. Oh, I'm getting to that one.
Why don't you just buy the fucking
Another
product?
person who gave us a 1-star said, overrated drunk loser who has to hide out in nowhere, Arizona to belong.
Bingo? Wrote that?
Oh my God.
I didn't know she knew how to...
I didn't know she had an email. And if you, as a listener to this podcast, there's a couple of you, go to Apple Podcasts and review us. Maybe it'll be better than the 2-star that we got from Dickwad McGillicuddy.
Real name.
Oh boy, you guys have been in a car together for a long time. I like
decades.
Dickwad McGillicuddy on June 27th, 2018 said, I like Stanhope and his humor, but this wait, I should do it in his voice. I like Stanhope and his humor, but this podcast is disjointed garbage. It's basically him and his crew sitting around rambling in a drunken stupor. There's zero format or structure. Just like sitting on a bar stool listening to 50-year-old dudes trying to be funny and only succeeding a small percentage of the time. Better listen to Doug's specials where there is a sober editor packaging the finished product. Sad.
And if you don't like that, listen to Near the Wild.
So, these, I don't know what these things do, but I hear other podcasts saying, review us. And I think we can do better than, and that was a 2-star. That wasn't a 1. That was like, this sucks.
We could do worse.
But, you know.
We could do worse.
I think we can get that guy back. I think we can bring him around.
The fact that it's a 2 means,
I'm sure he will come back. He's going to come back with a 5-star just because we mentioned
he's going to check in. He's going to check in. And by the way, he watches the specials.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't have a lot of arguments against what he said.
No,
accurate.
That should be our bio.
That's what I would write if I was putting a description.
Can we write a review about him? Say, well, you sound like you're just special.
Well,
this
no way to
poor
do that.
guy has to sit around listening to 50-year-old dudes try to be funny.
Yeah, it's as
feed your cat.
As Becker used to say, and still does probably, free and worth every penny.
I think I'm gonna copy and paste that in our bio for Audio Boom.
I think so.
I'll tweak it a little so that all the grammar matches up, but yeah, we'll do that. Hey, thanks, Dickwad McGillicuddy.
Yeah, you're a good editor.
Yeah.
You can edit Dickwad McGillicuddy into sounding like he's got some.
I like the sad at the
grammar.
end, like he's Trump.
Sad.
Just sad.
And by the way, Dickwad McGillicuddy, you're part of this sad show now.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget. Let's listen to James Inman drink piss to survive, but it's the wrong piss.
Good night.
Oh no, James Inman. I didn't even say chug. I surrender.
Yeah, he is. He's chugging my
You sick
Okay, this would probably be a good time to unload about your wine bottle.
6 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Yes! That is right, my friends. What did you do, Paul? What did you do? What did you do? I don't know, but I'm pretty proud of myself. Uh-huh. Who's the next king of the party now? That's right, motherfucker. I gotta tell you, there's been a turn in the campaign. Yes, there's been a turn in the campaign. Fucking bare knuckle fist fight. Oh! Ah! Yes! Yes! You gotta hold it in.
I've always imagined it would make someone sick. Now I know.
That was no... You can drink your piss. They tell you. In the military, they tell you. If you're in the desert and you don't have any water, that you have to drink your urine.
I think
but drinking the other guy's urine is gay.
Maybe I would have got you some water.
Hey, I just tapped the keg again.